Hi everyone, you're welcome to Natural TV. My name is Janet, and today we are going to be talking about malaria. And I have someone here today that's going to enlighten us more about malaria. So let us welcome health expert Nwade Adegoke. So today we are going to be talking about malaria. We all know malaria is a life-threatening disease and it can be transmitted in so many ways. I remember sometimes last week I was having a discussion with someone and the person said, I don't have to worry about having malaria, that I don't have to worry about mosquito bites, that the only thing I have to be careful of is moving or staying close to someone that has malaria. She said, once somebody has malaria beside me, I can also have malaria that is transferable. So I don't know how true is this. I want you to shed more light on it. What is this malaria? What is it all about? Is it something that we should avoid? Is it that deadly? So I want you to just explain to us.
All right. Malaria is a parasite. So it is carried by a female mosquito. So what that person says is quite okay and is quite all right, because it is a transmissible disease. It can be transferred from someone having malaria to other person. So that's why the person said you should be careful of the person having malaria. That's just true about it. So malaria is a disease that is caused and transferred by a female parasite, and then the carrier of this parasite is mosquito. So if mosquito should bite that person that has malaria, definitely if you are in contact with that mosquito, malaria will be transferred. So that's why that person said so. That's how malaria is being transferred. Oh, and this malaria we are talking about, it affects every segment of people, be it adults, children, adolescents, every category of age. And this malaria we are talking about, like 290 million people get infected yearly, and then yearly like 400,000 people die of malaria.
Ordinary malaria?
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting. Another thing I've noticed, I've observed is that malaria is more common in the rural area compared to developed area. Why is it that?
What happened is that their environment. If the environment is not hygienical enough, it will affect. Why? There must not be stagnant water. The environment must be clean. If there is any stagnant water, that environment will breed more mosquitoes, in the sense that they produce egg. So when they lay that egg, on that water, it makes it to multiply. So that's why it's common in those areas more than the developed area.
So we need to keep our environment, we need to keep it clean always, so as to avoid mosquitoes. Okay, that is okay. Another thing, there is somebody that told me that malaria can go itself. If you're having malaria, you don't need to worry about treating it, that if left untreated, after a while it's going to disappear like magic. I don't know how true this is, because I know I've had cases where people say, oh, this person died after an untreated malaria. So I want to know, untreated malaria, can it result to death if not well treated?
Yes, I've said it earlier that like 400,000 people die of malaria yearly. So if it is untreated, it can lead to death. So that's why we encourage people that they should take care of their environment, so that this parasite will not be transferred to the body system, so that it will not lead to death.
Okay, ma'am. One of the common symptoms of malaria we all know is fever. I know there will be several other symptoms that you might not know. What you just tell us other symptoms apart from fever?
Yes, the first one that is very common is fever. This malaria we are talking about can come with cough, it can come with back pain, it can come with headache, it can come with nausea and vomiting. All those symptoms is part of malaria symptoms. But the one we are used to is fever. So when one is having fever, when it's shivering, this person is having malaria. But there are some other symptoms attached to malaria.
Okay, we've been talking about malaria, we've talked about the symptoms, how it can be transmitted. Now I want us to talk about how we can prevent it, because we all know prevention is better than cure.
Yes.
So how can we prevent this malaria? What are the things we can put in place to avoid us from having malaria?
Yes, at the early stage, I spoke about every stage that both children and adults have malaria. For the children, the World Health Organization made a provision for a preventive measure by having vaccine for the children, malaria vaccine for the children. So for the babies, the children, we can take that vaccine for them. And then for the adults, make sure your environment is clean to serve as a preventive measure. And then another thing is that treated insecticide bed net is very, very good. So if you want to sleep, just to be very conscious of your environment, you can sleep under the mosquito net. That's what people call it generally. So if you make use of that, it helps. And that's why in our communities at times, the government distributes it in the environment that, okay, mosquito net, this season, let's distribute it for the people in the community. So with this, they are preventing mosquito gradually. So with the use of nets, the use of insecticide, it will help us to prevent mosquito in our environment.
Okay, ma, thank you, ma. While growing up, it is common among our parents. They will say, oh, once a child is sick, when a child has malaria, they say, oh, this child is AA. Because they believe people that have the AH gene, they are most likely to have malaria than people that have AS. I don't know if this is true or not. They say, oh, AA children, they get sick, they get into mosquito bite. While AS, they are prone to malaria. They don't have malaria that much. So how true is this?
Yes, for the AA, what happens is that the X chromosome is more stronger than the Y chromosome. That is why they are prone to that most of their sickness is malaria. And then for AA, one must be very careful, even at the childhood to the adulthood. You must be very, very careful in water. If AA, to take a water that mosquito lay eggs inside it definitely affects the health. So they will have malaria. So that's why the X chromosome is very, very strong. That's why malaria is very, very strong.
I know there are several natural ways we can actually treat malaria, because if you look at it now, the cost of drugs in the market are very expensive. You see them selling a pack of a drug 1,000, 3,000, 2,005. I know there are several natural remedies. Some people use ginger, they use apple cider. I want you to explain to us how we use these things to reduce the cost instead of us buying all these synthetic drugs. Natural things we can use to fight malaria.
Alright, I'll start from ginger.
Okay.
Ginger is anti-inflammatory, it's very, very good. It can help. And how would they use ginger for malaria? Use ginger water. You get a little quantity of ginger, cut it into pieces, or if you have grater, grate it inside a cup of water, and then make sure you take this water, a glass in the morning, take a glass at night. This will prevent you from malaria. And this bitter leaf of a seed, bitter leaf is very, very good for malaria. All you need is to get a handful of bitter leaf, wash it, scrub it, and if you don't want to go to that process, you can get handful of bitter leaf, and then you get like 2-3 lime. Lime. You cut it into smaller bits, boil it in your pot, and take a cup in the morning, take a cup at night. This will prevent you from taking synthetic drugs. This is a natural way. And then likewise, you can use apple cider. All you need is to put in a warm water. You add a spoon of apple cider, put it inside. This also will prevent you from having malaria. So there are 12 other natural ways, like grape too. Grape help in preventing malaria. All you need to do is that you get your grape, your orange, you squeeze the water into a cup and take it. Likewise, you can cook it with water also. If you don't want to take it raw like that, just make sure you get your grape, wash it very well. You can cut it into smaller bits, and this you can add lemongrass. Most people know this, so you can add your lemongrass, you boil it, and the person will be taking it a cup in the morning, a cup at night, just for like 7 days or 14 days.
Okay.
Malaria will.
Okay, ma. Thank you, ma. Concerning the apple cider that you mentioned, I know we have different types of apple cider. Which one do you recommend? Which one is the best?
I would like to recommend black apple cider. It's very, very good because it contains the mother. That's why it's very good.
And these natural remedies that you mentioned, does it later have side effects, or do we have a quantity, and how many days can we take them? Do we have to take them for like 7 days, 3 days, a week, 2 weeks, or a month?
If you are treating malaria with natural remedies, there is no side effect. Just have to be mindful of the quantity. So that's why I said a glass in the morning, a glass at night, enough. And for like 3 to 7 days, when you notice the changes, you can keep up. But if it persists, you can extend it to 14 days.
Okay. If you are just joining us, this is Right Living Natural Health TV, and we've been talking about malaria. Our health expert has told us what malaria is, how it can be transmitted, symptoms, and how we can prevent it, and even the natural remedies. If you are just joining us, kindly like, subscribe, drop your comment, whatever you think like is a question bothering you, can drop it, you will definitely get an answer. So for the malaria, the treatment, is that all that we can use? Is there anything that some people might find it difficult using all these natural things? Is there anything like that has been prepared, but it's still natural, that is prepared, that they can use instead of all these Italy, apple cider, and all that you've mentioned earlier?
All right. If you're finding it difficult to make the preparation, maybe the cooking, the boiling, and all this stuff, there is a natural formulation that I will recommend for you, which we call Get Well Reloaded. We have it at our end. It's very good for malaria, and not for malaria alone, for every form of symptoms like headache, body pain, all those stuff, even for fertility, for post. Get one for yourself and for your family. It will help the well-being naturally.
All right, thank you, ma. I will advise everyone to get the Get Well Reloaded because we add it from our health expert. You can even have it and keep it to your home. It's not until when your child falls sick or until when you fall sick you can use Get Well Reloaded. You can use it at any time. So that is going to be the end of our today's talk show. Thank you very much for joining. Till we meet again. Bye. Have a wonderful day.